time.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. We missed your association during the Janmashtami, but hopefully sometime we should have. I was just thinking, can we get started off with our Mangalacharan prayer if everybody is okay? Today, I think this Saturday or this Thursday also, Ramnath Prabhu is not going to be joined because Ramnath Prabhu is in Germany. He's going for the Simhachalam temple over there. So he may not be joining us today. But let's start off with the Mangalacharan prayer. Anyone would like to volunteer for that?
Prabhu, I can do it, but if anybody wants to.
Yeah, Prabhu. Yeah, by all means, it's open for all of our. Yeah, go ahead, Nagari Prabhu.
Okay, fine, I'll start, Prabhu.
You can see the screen, right? So
yes, I can see the screen.
Go ahead with that.
Okay. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadankitam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarastam Sahagana Raghunanvitam Tam Swajivam Sadvaitam Swadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padana Saha Gana Lalita Shri Vikanantamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधया वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंचकल्पतरुभ्यश्च च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमदे भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे.
Hey Krishna. Nagari Prabhu, that was wonderful. Very nicely recited. Yeah,
Very beautiful, Prabhuji.
Yeah, very nice, Nagari Prabhu. Yeah, I mean, I would request all of our friends, like Ashwin Prabhu, Varun Prabhu, this is a beautiful prayer. It would be real nice whenever you are ready and fine with it. It will be nice if any one of you can take part as well. Ajay Prabhu and Varun Prabhu, the slokas, you know this, right? These are the offering our prayers to the spiritual master, to Krishna and to Radha, Rani and all that. It's really nice so that we can make them as part of our day-to-day, morning prayers as well. In fact, I do start like that. Hey Krishna, Karna Sindhu, Dina Bandhu, Jagatpate, Gopisha, Gopika Kanta, Radha Kanta, Namostute. So it's a beautiful prayer invoking the blessings of spiritual master and Krishna as well. Vrindavan Das Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Dandavat Pranam, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam. Very happy to have your association, Prabhuji. Now it feels like Vrindavan Das Prabhuji has come. It feels like Vrindavan now.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat.
Thank you so much. Ramlal Prabhuji.
Already start.
Dandavat Pranam, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Vrindavan Prabhuji, were saying something?
Already your class? Studying already?
No, we just starting, Prabhuji. We just had a small talk about the Janmashtami. We were just talking about experiences in Janmashtami.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, we were serving in the Goshala, so we were just talking about that. How Krishna is so merciful.
I saw you are mantra chanting and parikrama. I saw already.
Yeah. Krishna gives us this opportunity once in a year, so we had to make the most out of it. So.
It is nice job. Good.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji, with all your blessings. I'll just do a bit of Kirtan and then we will dive directly into the Krishna book. Yeah.
Okay.
Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girvaradari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
A small kirtan before we start our Krishna book.
Very nice, Prabhuji. Ecstatic Kirtan, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Usually I play it on the harmonium. Today I didn't put the Bluetooth. I didn't want to this harmonium to again distort the voice.
And your altar has got many deities, it seems, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Beautiful.
Yeah, here you can see the deities of your Mother Yashoda and Krishna, and then the Bhagavad Gita book. I have Bhagavatam books in the back, and then like we have Mahavishnu and Narayana and Lakshmi Devi, and then and then Krishna and Radha on the swing as well, Lord Jagannath, and then Lord Sri Ram and Sita Devi. So yeah,
Very beautiful, Prabhuji. So blissful. Thank you.
Prabhuji, always happy to share with the devotees. You know, Bhagavatam is a literal incarnation of Krishna, isn't it, Prabhuji? So I said, like, no, we should keep on the altar. So, with all your permission, we will go into the Krishna book. It's so beautiful because we just had Janmashtami, and where Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo veti tattvataha kyaptateham punarjanma naiti mameti sorjana. So one who knows the Krishna's divine leelas or Krishna's appearance which happened in this week and Krishna's divine leelas, even if you understand and even if you know the leelas of Krishna, Krishna says at the end of our life, we directly go to Krishna Lokam. So it is so purifying, it's so auspicious to listen about Krishna Katha. And we are so fortunate that we have KrishnaBook that we can directly read through and understand the Leelas where Krishna, it is all about the Leelas of Krishna and how beautifully we have covered 50 chapters so far from the Krishna book, covering all the different Leelas, which can highlight. And how do we attain the love for Krishna? Only by understanding the transcendental, beautiful pastimes of Krishna. Only through that we'll be able to understand and we'll be able to experience this love of Krishna. So it is very, very important for us to, as we keep developing more and more knowledge, as we keep, then, and we can engage in chanting. These things should be happening in parallel. On one side, we are listening to Krishna Katha. On one side, we are chanting the holy names. And one side reading Bhagavad Gita. So all these things, when they're happening together, you'll be able to enjoy and kind of like upgrade ourselves to the level of pure Krishna Bhakti. And it is a journey. We cannot expect that one fine day that we'll become like, pure devotees. We should be always considering ourselves like aspiring devotees. We are aspiring to be devotees. We are just praying to Radha. And that's the reason why we are chanting. Every time we chant on a beat, we are chanting to Radha and Krishna. Please kindly engage us in the devotional service. And before even we say Krishna, Hara means it's another name for Radharani. When we say Hare Krishna, Hara means another name for Radharani. So we are praying first to Radharani because Prabhupada would say that if Radharani becomes pleased, we are praying to Radharani also first, saying that, dear Radharani, please help us in Krishna Bhakti. Because if Radharani is the compassion within Krishna, the pleasure-giving potency within Krishna, so if Radharani is happy with our devotional service, she recommends to Krishna, there is a beautiful, this lovely devotee of yours who always loves you so much. And when Radharani tells Krishna, Krishna can never say no to her. And so there is a process, like, how in the material world, we follow so many processes. So even in the spiritual world, there is a process how we can attain the love of Krishna. When we engage in the association of devotees of Krishna, when we engage in worshipping Radharani, in fact, when we offer fruits, these days when I offer fruits to Radha and Krishna, first I offer it to Radharani, and I ask Radharani, please, from your hands, please offer it to Krishna. Because so in that mood of devotion, there has to be some personal, endeavor in how we pray to Radharani and ask her to offer the fruits to Krishna. So this way we develop a nice, beautiful relationship between Radha and Krishna. And as I mentioned, Radha Krishna eki atma duhi dehadari anyone vela se rasa ashwadana kari. Radha and Krishna eki atma, but they appear in two spiritual bodies in a loving, melodious transcendental relationship, enjoying transcendental bliss. So that is why it is so important for us to understand this beautiful relationship. And even we have a beautiful relationship of Krishna with Krishna, because Krishna says, Mamaivam sa jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana mana shastrin indriyani prakriti, that we are all part and parcel of Krishna. So we have a very intimate relationship of Krishna. And this chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is basically to revive our relationship, to get back to our original relationship with Krishna, that we are all part and parcel of Krishna. So on that note, I would like to dive into the chapter. So as we all know, this chapter 51 It's a very quite a big chapter compared to other chapters. Sometimes we would even complete one chapter in a day's time or a couple of days' time. But here you can see the nectar is just overflowing and it is just flowing more. And we have, if you recall back on what we covered last week, we just spoke about how Krishna takes Kalyavana into the forest, and Kalyavana, how he's going behind them. And then Kalyavana, the person who is coming to actually fight with Krishna, he goes and kicks somebody in the cave who was actually sleeping. And that person who was sleeping in the cave is called as Muchukonda. He was actually a devotee of Krishna in his previous life. And he's being given a benediction that he can sleep for any amount of time. This benediction for Muchukonda has been given by Kartikeya. Kartikeya, the chief of all the demigods, Kartikeya, he gave this benediction to Muchukonda that he can sleep for any amount of time, because this is the benediction that he wanted. So we can see that after, when Muchukonda was so angry that somebody kicked him, and he opens his eyes and then he fights, and in front of him he sees Kalyavana, and Kalyavana gets burst into ashes. And so Parikshit Maharaj was listening to this whole thing, was asking, like, how did this happen, that this Muchukonda was granted with this benediction that you could just go and burn somebody by looking at him. So we find that, and now Sukadeva Goswami was narrating about this beautiful pastime that Muchukonda was from the Raghurama dynasty, Ikwaku dynasty, and things like that. So when Muchukonda suddenly sees, after he burns Kalyavana, the fighter, to ashes, then Muchukonda sees in front of him Krishna in a beautiful four-armed Narayana form. And we see in this also, we see in this beautiful form of Krishna. This is so enchanting. I remember seeing this beautiful form of Krishna, this four-armed Narayana form, and I was thinking, wow, this looks so beautiful. And this is what Muchukonda was seeing. After he burned Kalyavana into ashes, he's seen in front of him Lord Krishna. So he was so fortunate that even though Muchukonda could not identify Krishna by simply looking at him, Krishna remembered that Muchukonda was a great devotee of Krishna. And when Muchukonda was asking Krishna, who are you? And because he has forgotten, but Krishna never forget. Veda ham samatitani vartamanani cha Arjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kaschana. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I know everything that has happened in the past, everything that's happening now, and everything that's happening in future. But me, and I know every living entity, every jivatma I know, but me, nobody knows. So Krishna, even though Muchukonda couldn't recognize, he knew about it. So here we can find that Muchukonda was introducing himself, who he is, and things like that, and all that. And he was asking, Krishna. Then he goes on to ask Krishna that who is he and things like that. So he was, this is all something which we covered last time. And also for the, I think for the benefit of all the devotees, I think we had just put it on the channel as well, on the WhatsApp group as well. I'm just going to see for the place where we covered that. Till we have covered. Therefore, development of Krishna. Yeah, we covered this one. Conquering. Yeah, we covered this as well. Yeah, it's therefore very difficult to get out of the material entanglement. So one of the things that we can see from the devotees in those ancient times is that they were so knowledgeable about the spiritual life. Like you can see Muchukonda, the way he's talking about material life and spiritual life, that is very difficult to get out of the material entanglement and all this. So we've seen that, even they were so knowledgeable in their ancient time also about the difference between spiritual life and material life, and how knowledgeable they were in those days to understand how all these things impact and how the devotional life also goes as well. I'm going to just see from where we can get started off so that one of our devotees can read from there. I'm just bringing this up. Just give me a minute. Okay, I'm just looking at a moment somewhere. Just a minute. Right. The heavenly plans. Yeah. Yeah. So we covered till here in the last thing. So where Muchukonda was telling, my dear Lord, we come under the full control of the inevitable time, not only after that, but in a different way. So here he's telling, if one gets an opportunity to take birth in a very rich and royal family, even then he's always anxious to maintain the status quo and prepare for the next life by performing various sacrifices and distributing charity. Even in royal life, one is full of anxieties, not only because of political administration, but also in regard to being elevated to the heavenly planet. So we just covered till here, where Muchukonda is giving about his knowledge and what what his thinking line is. When I come back, Vitreous, all subordinate kings may come and offer their respect, but as soon as I enter into the inner section of the palace, so he's giving his realization that no matter you may be a mighty king ruling in the planet, but still when you come back home, you are like a servant at the feet of the woman. So he's giving his kind of realizations about it and how difficult it is to have a material life. So from here, we're going to start off over here. It is therefore, so this is what Mushikonda is been telling, he's been speaking to Krishna. It is therefore very difficult to get out of the material entanglement. But if one is somehow or the other favored by you, by your mercy alone, he is given the opportunity to associate with the pure devotee. That is the beginning of liberation from the entanglement of material conditioned life. My dear Lord, only by the association of pure devotees is one able to approach your Lordship, who are the controller of both material and spiritual existence. You are the supreme goal of all the pure devotees, and by association with the pure devotees, one can develop his dormant love for you. Therefore, development of Krishna consciousness is the association of pure devotees the cause of liberation from the material entanglement. So this particular paragraph is very, very important because in Krishna consciousness we talk about the four ABCD. We say ABCD, and we say A for association of devotees, right? And that's very important to understand. A for association, B for books, associating reading Krishna Katha, reading Bhagavad Gita, and C for chanting, and four for Krishna diet or deity worship, you can say. So these things are very, very important, and only when Krishna sees our sincerity that we want to engage, then we come across a very pure, bona fide spiritual master or a pure devotees who will take us to the lotus feet of Krishna. So we are all so fortunate because we come to the right Brahma Madhava Sampradaya, where we have our guidance from Prabhupada, who is a pure devotee of Krishna. Krishna can never be defeated, or Krishna can never be conquered. But the only time Krishna allows to be conquered is when he comes across a pure devotee. He likes to be conquered by the love of a pure devotee. And we've seen that in Prabhupada. We had the Vyasa Puja on Tuesday, a couple of days back. And myself and Nagaraj, we went to Manav to offer our obeisances because we felt like how much of gratitude that we need to have towards a spiritual master. Before, I was telling in one of the Vyasa Puja offerings, we were saying like, we all come from India, where we are used to ritualistic worship. We go to a temple, we do the aarti, the pujari is doing the aarti, and we just take some tulsi water and we get the blessings from the God, and then we come back. But there is no service that we are doing. We are just engaging in archanam, like out of the 9 devotional forms. But actually, you can understand or experience the love of Krishna only by devotional service. And Prabhupada, one of the beautiful things about our spiritual master Prabhupada is that he gave us a spiritual platform where we can engage in devotional service, not being just ritualistic, but being spiritual, not ritual, but spiritual. And here it is being very clearly mentioned where Michikanda is saying that somehow it's very difficult to get out of the material engagement, right? Krishna Bhagavan says, Prakrite kriya manani gunai karmani sharvashaha ahankara bimbudartha kartahamiti manyate. The spirit soul, under the influence of false ego, thinks he is the doer of all the activities, which are in actuality carried out by the three modes of material nature. So we are just like puppets in the hands of these three material nature, we are puppets in the hands of these three gunas, which are making us dangle like puppets, right? Because our ego thinks that we are doing everything, but everything is being done by the three modes of material nature. But how to come out of this material and the control of this material nature, which is constantly making us dance like puppets? And that we can come out of this by the mercy that Krishna gives by association with the pure devotee. Mamcho yogi bicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samitya brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Where Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, when one is engaged in bhakti life, unfailing in all circumstances, that in that way, by engaging in bhakti life, that way he can come out of the entanglement of this material nature. So if you do not want to be like puppets in the hands of this prakriti or material nature, we have to take to Krishna Bhakti. Why we have to take to Krishna Bhakti is, Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Maya jakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagad viparivate. Arjuna, this material nature which is making you dangle like puppets is in hands of me. It is working according to my instructions, Arjuna. So everything, this material nature of Prakriti, which is making us dance like puppets, is in the hands of Krishna. So if we take to the lotus feet of Krishna through the association of devotees, then the same Mahamaya will now be as Yogamaya and helping us in our devotional service also. So it's very, very important for that. And that is the beginning of liberation, because when you associate it, like when you're sitting next to a fire, you can feel the heat, right? You can feel the warmth of the fire. Similarly, when we are near to a nice pure devotee, when we are in the association of devotees, we listen to Krishna Katha, we chant along with them, slowly by engaging in the association of devotees, and that's how you get more and more knowledge, and that's when you practice your spiritual life, and that's one of the best way in which you can come out of it. Otherwise, we will always be thinking that we are the proprietors, we are the controllers, but we have to understand that we are not the controllers. We're just servitors of Krishna, and the supreme control is Bhagavan Sri Krishna. That's why Krishna Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita, Bhoktaram yajana tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhridam sarva bhutanam jyatamam shanti vichite. So he's the ruler of all the planets. He is the cause of all the causes. He is the enjoyer of all the sacrifice. He is the supreme proprietor. So when we understand this, that we are not the controllers, we are not the proprietors, and when we understand that there is a supreme controller called Bhagavan Sri Krishna, there is a supreme proprietor called Bhagavan Sri Krishna. And what is our association? When we understand that supreme Lord is actually our well-wisher, Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam, which means Bhagavan Sri Krishna is our well-wisher and is our best friend. They say that inside everyone's Atma, there's both Atma and Paramatma, just like two birds on branches of a tree. And the Atma is enjoying in the body, and the Paramatma is witnessing what we are doing in the body. But now, instead of witnessing, we are engaging in we are trying to engage in chanting the holy name, so that we have a beautiful, loving relationship. And because Krishna says, right, that whatever we are doing, when we are engaged in bhakti life, Krishna will not keep quiet. He's reciprocating our love. Tesham jnana nitya yukta eka bhaktir vishishyate priyahi jnanino chartam aham sacha mama priya. So Krishna is always reciprocating. And when we start engaging in the chanting of the holy name, Krishna also gives us this knowledge by which we can come to Krishna. So the way in which people talk about mukti, but the actual mukti comes in association of the devotees. And that's the way in which we can come out of this meta entanglement. So can I request one of our devotees, if you can just read one of this paragraph, and then we will go from there. Anyone would like to read?
I can read it.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Yeah, Prabhu.
Okay. My dear Lord, Hare Krishna, my dear Lord, you are so merciful that in spite of my being reluctant to associate with your pure devotees, you have shown your extreme mercy upon me as a result of my slight contact with such a pure devotee as Garga Muni. By your causeless mercy only have I lost all my material opulences, my kingdom and my family. I do not think I could have gotten rid of all these entanglements without your causeless mercy. Kings and emperors sometimes accept the life of an ascetic to forget the real life, but by your special causeless mercy, I have already been bereft of frailty. I do not need to become a mendicant or practice renunciation. Can I carry on?
Yeah, you want to, Prabhuji? Next one, yeah.
My dear Lord, I therefore pray that I may simply be engaged in rendering transcendental loving service onto your lotus feet. This is the ambition of pure devotees who are freed from all material contamination. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and you can offer me anything I want, including liberation. But who is such a fool that after pleasing you, he would ask for you something which might cause entanglement in this material world? I do not think any sane man would ask such a benediction from you. I therefore surrender unto you because you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are the super soul living in everyone's heart, and you are the impersonal Brahman effulgence. Moreover, you are also the material world. You are also this material world because this material world is only manifestation of your external energy. Therefore, from any angle of vision, you are the supreme shelter for everyone, whether on the material plane or on the spiritual plane. Everyone must take shelter under your lotus feet. I therefore submit unto you, my Lord.
Hare Krishna. That
Hare
was,
Krishna.
this is, for me, it is just amazing. You can see the Muchukonda, the kind of divine qualities that he had, that he's been so humble and human, with so much of a humility, that we've seen earlier in our earlier discussion that Muchukonda was actually he's a royal king. He had everything. He had princes, he had a big kingdom, and he had everything. But at the same time, on the request of the demigods, he went and fought against on behalf of the demigods who are being harassed by the demons. Um, he went and fought for such a long time that by the time he finished all the fighting and went back, um, Kartikeya, the chief of the demigod, says, "You have fought for such a long time that in the process, in the meantime, all his kingdom, his family, everything has been lost." But here you can see that even though his great realization that he may not have directly an association with Krishna, but because of his association of Gargamuni, he's a pure devotee of Krishna, he's been having this mercy of Krishna. So one of the important thing that we need to understand is not that we have to approach Krishna directly, but it is a process. It is a yoga ladder where we reach out to an associate of devotees, and the devotees associate get us an association with that spiritual master, and at the lotus feet of the spiritual master, when we are serving, that spiritual master will give us a taste which will take us to the lotus feet of Krishna. So this is the process, right? So sometimes we may not be in a position unless you would have practiced bhakti for a very long time in our previous life, then everything in this life comes to light, and immediately we see some of the people, right, very young age, they become great devotees of Krishna and things like that, because these people have practiced bhakti life so much in their previous life that Krishna says that wherever you have stopped your bhakti life in your previous life, it just gets continued from that point onwards. So if I have just gone 5 miles of bhakti, the next life, it will start from the 5th mile onwards. It's not going to start from the scratch, unlike what we experience in the material world. So it is very important to understand that here we approach Krishna through the devotees association, and they give us a taste of bhakti. And that reminds me, like, you take manna for example, right? When the Beatles initially, it is such a divine arrangement, and it's a beautiful example that I am just thinking about. Initially, George Harrison from the Beatles, he heard about Krishna, he heard about Prabhupada, and then, but that's about it. But by divine arrangement of Krishna, the devotees of Prabhupada, who actually the American devotees who came to UK, and they wanted to go and meet the Beatles so that they can help them in in building a temple or using the influence of the Beatles. And they happened to go into a Christmas party, and they thought they will go and meet the George Harrison and maybe ask them for his help. But the biggest surprise that they had was George Harrison walks into this Christmas party, and leaving all the VIPs in the room, George Harrison goes straight to these monks, the American monks who are devotees of Prabhupada. And the very first thing that George Harrison said is, "Where have you been? I have been waiting for you all these years." So you see now George Harrison is a good example. He had fame, he had money, you power, everything, talent, immensely popular, very, very world famous Beatles. And so those Beatles, imagine they going to a monk and saying, "Where have you been? I have been waiting for you all these years." And immediately, because they got in touch with a devotee of Prabhupada, disciple of Prabhupada, immediately they had the association of a devotee. And when they had an association of the devotees, now the devotees of Prabhupada, disciples of Prabhupada, invited Prabhupada to come to UK. And next step, when George Harrison directly met Prabhupada, he was totally, after hearing about Krishna consciousness, he was so much happy and impressed with that George Harrison offered, "I want to buy a place for you." And that's how we happen to have this beautiful manor, which is now 80 acres. Of course, the temple brought some more land later. But this is the process, right? First George Harrison met the devotees of Krishna, and they took him to Prabhupada. And after they met Prabhupada, he was so humble. And these are the qualities that, right, in order to engage in spiritual life, in order to engage in Krishna Bhakti, how the humility of Muchukonda that we are seeing here. Muchukonda, even though he lost all his material opulences, he is not feeling bad about it. He's happy that he has lost all these things. So similarly, George Harrison, when he met Prabhupada, he asked, like, "Prabhupada, do you want me to shave away my head and become like a monk?" He said, no. Prabhupada said, "No, you just be where you are, and you can contribute to Krishna in your own way." And then he written those beautiful songs, "My Sweet Lord," and all these things. But this is the process. So, and then he started chanting. So first he met the disciple took him to Prabhupada took him to Krishna's feet, and then that is it. And then he went to Vrindavan, and he was chanting over there. And he gave his experiences, so that for 3 days he was chanting all the time in Europe, but still he was not getting tired. So this is the process, and this is what Muchukonda is telling, that you are being so merciful in spite of being reluctant to associate with the pure devotees. You have shown your mercy as a result of my contact with the Garga Muni. So through the association of devotees, because devotees are connected with Krishna, so when you are holding on to the pure devotees, they take you to Krishna, and you come into the vision of Krishna. So this is what happened by your causeless mercy. So sometimes when things we lose, like some other people, like when do we lament? We lament when we lose our people whom you think are our family. We lament when we lose our precious money. We lament for many materialistic things. But sometimes if you really look at it, especially with Krishna Bhakti, they say like Krishna takes away some of these distractions. It is not like he wants to take away a kingdom, but he wants to take away the thing is, the very fact that all these things we want in our life, because we think that if I have this kingdom, I'm going to be happy. If I have this family, I'm going to be happy. It's all about happiness. End of the day, it's all about happiness. And what Krishna is saying is, compared to all this material happiness, I want to give you a much, much higher happiness. And that happiness is the divine love I want to give you. And I want you to take back to my Krishna Loka. And this is what Krishna benediction, he is basically trying to remove all these impediments that are coming in the way of Krishna. Because if we have all these things, then we will not be able to love Krishna, because all these things are like obstacles. Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam tayapahrita chetasa vyavasayatmika buddhi samaudana vidiyate. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, a person whose mind and consciousness is full of material opulences and sense enjoyment, and I want to enjoy this, I want to enjoy that, I want to have material opulences. Krishna says, when your consciousness is polluted by all these things, contaminated by all these things, then you will not get love for Krishna. So Krishna, because of his causeless mercy, which he's talking about here, he removes all those impediments so that you can completely spend 24/7 in Krishna Bhakti, and you can experience the real joy of life. So here Krishna says, I do not need to become a minute, because by your causeless mercy, I've already been bereft of royal. So the real mercy of Krishna, we have this beautiful prayer. You all know the story about Dhruva Maharaj, right? When Dhruva Maharaj, a young boy, he was intense meditation he was doing. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. that the whole world came to a standstill. He was doing such deep meditation. And when finally Krishna appeared in front of him, what did Dhruva Maharaj say? When Krishna himself appeared in front of Dhruva Maharaj said, Krishna, when you yourself, after seeing you, now I feel like I have been praying all these 6 months for broken glass pieces when a diamond like you is in front of me. So this is what we get a realization when we experience Krishna Bhakti, when we experience the love of Kirtan, when we experience the love of joy of being with the devotees who are engaging in Krishna Katha. When we have the taste, Visaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam param drishtva nivartate. When we experience that higher taste, when you are licking a lollipop and suddenly somebody gives you a Ferrero Rocher, you really throw away the lollipop and you want to enjoy the Ferrero Rocher. Similarly, when you experience Krishna Bhakti, then you find that all these material pleasures and they just fade away in comparison. So here he's saying, I therefore pray that please engage in rendering loving service unto your lotus feet. This is why we always chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. The very meaning of Hare Krishna is this, very simple. Simply be engaged in rendering. I want to be simply engaged in rendering transcendental loving service. This is the prayer of Krishna. And this we are repeating 108 times on every mala that we are repeating. Please let us be engaged in your devotional service. This is the ambition of pure devotees. Just like how materialistically people have ambitions to become rich and all that, but for pure devotees, their ambition is to come out of all this material contamination and experience the loving service of Krishna. And here he's saying, you are the Supreme Lord. You can offer me anything, including liberation. We have seen earlier in the chapter, right? In the same chapter where Kartikeya, he's telling Muchukonda, I can grant you everything. Any material desires I can grant you. I can give you kingdom, I can give you everything. But liberation, mukti, don't ask for that. That only Krishna can give. So Muchukonda here is saying, you can offer me everything because you're the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna says, right, Aham sarvasya prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. I am the source of all the spiritual and material worlds. So this is a Muchukonda who's already had that realization. That here he is saying, like, when you are the Supreme Lord, who is such a fool that after pleasing you would ask for something which causes entanglement? So he's considering that anybody who's asking for material desires and getting more and more entangled in this material world is like a fool. Like, why would somebody do that? And so he's saying, Muchukonda is saying, anybody who's sane and would not do that. I do not think any sane man would ask for such a benediction for you. You know? Krishna Varnam Twisa Krishnam Sangopangasra Parshade Yajna Sankitana Praye Yajantehi Su Medasa, where it is mentioned in Bhagavatam that intelligent people in this Kali Yuga will worship Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who's none other than Krishna Bhagavan himself, who's not in the blackish color, but he was in a beautiful golden complexion color, and who's come with his associates, with the Nityananda and Advaita Acharya and all of them, and to give us this benediction, to give us this love of Krishna. So this is what it is. Foolish people may ask for material desires, but here this Krishna Varnam Tusa Krishnam is telling that intelligent people will pray to the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and pick up this Hare Krishna Mahamantra by following this. In fact, throughout this Hare Krishna movement is all about we are following the footsteps, or we are following Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's directions. We are following what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama Iva Kevalam, Kalo Nasti, Eva Nasti, Eva Nasti, Eva Gati Ranyata. That in Kali Yuga there is no other remedy, no other solution, no other better way to attain Krishna Bhakti other than chanting the holy names of Krishna. So that is what here we're talking about, how foolish people would expect, at the same time how intelligent people would do that. So he's saying here, I therefore surrender unto you because you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And you are the Supreme Soul in everyone's heart. And this is what is important, right? The reason why we put our hands up when we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. In fact, in Krishna Janmashtami, we gave an opportunity for all the devotees. We told all the devotees who came for Go Puja, we asked all of them to lift their hands up in surrender, in the mood of surrender, and say, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So that is the mood of surrender. Just like how Draupadi, when she was being insulted, when she was trying to be disrobed, when she was trying to be insulted in the Maya Sabha in front of all the Kauravas, what did she do? She lifted her hands in surrender, which is what Muchukonda is here talking about. Shanka Chakra Gadadara Pani Dwaraka Nilaya Achyuta Govinda Pundari Kaksha Rakshamam Sharanam Gatim Govinda Pundari Kaksha Rakshamam Sharanam Gatim. That is the prayer of Draupadi, right? She was praying to Krishna, surrender, because initially she thought she can protect herself from the Kauravas. Then she realized that she's helpless. Then she looked at the Pandavas. Then she realized that even they are helpless. Then she looked at Bhishma Pita. Then she realized that even they are helpless. No human or person out there around were able to help her. Then finally, when she lifted her hands in Krishna, Krishna went and protected her. And this is why Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parichyaja Mam Ekam Saranam Vraja. Like, abandon all varieties of religion, abandon all your dependence and all these things. Just surrender unto me. I will protect you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. Same way, similarly, what did Arjuna do? When he seen in the battlefield, when he seen all the Kauravas, when he seen his own grandfather, when he seen Dronacharya in front of him, what was immediately his reaction? His first reaction and the turning point of Bhagavad Gita, what was the turning point? Karpanya dosho pahata swabhavaha prachama tvam dharma sammudha chetaha yashreya channischitan bruhitan me chisaste hamsadi mam tvam prapannam. And in that verse, that is the turning point of Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna says, Krishna, I'm totally confused about my duty. He's in a mood of surrender at that time. He's saying, I'm totally confused, Krishna. I have lost my bodily composure because of miserly weakness. In this situation, Krishna, I'm no more your friend. I'm your devotee. I'm surrendered unto you. Kindly instruct me. What is the right thing for me to do? And that is when Bhagavan Sri Krishna starts explaining about Bhagavad Gita, about all the teachings. So we have to understand that it's very, very important to surrender. First, we surrender to the spiritual master, and then we surrender onto Krishna as well. And the best way to surrender is to always thinking about Krishna, following the 4 rules. Best way to surrender: Manmana Bhava Madbhakta, Majjadimam Namaskuru, Mam Ivaisasi Yuktvaevam Atmanam Matparaya. Engage your mind always in thinking of Krishna by chanting his name. Become Krishna's devotee by following the instructions of Bhagavad Gita, and worship Krishna by offering a flower, fruit, patram pushpam palam toyam yome bhakta prayachati. And then in that way, Krishna says, you will surely come to me. Krishna is assuring. And here, Mushikonda's realization that Krishna is the supreme shelter for everyone, that everybody should take shelter under his lotus feet. So that is very. Can I ask one more, any other devotee who can just read this paragraph as well?
Can I?
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
can I? Oh, okay.
Please, go ahead. Go ahead, Prabhu. Mohan Prabhu, yeah, can you hear us?
You're telling me
Yeah,
to
yeah.
read it?
You want to read, yeah?
Yeah, somebody volunteered, so.
Oh, okay. Whoever.
Can I?
Who's that?
Ajay.
Oh, yeah, Ajay Prabhu. Yeah, go ahead, Prabhu.
Yeah. So, thank you. For many, many births, I have been suffering from the threefold miseries of the material existence, and I am now tired of it. I have been impelled only by my senses, and I was never satisfied. I therefore take shelter of your lotus feet, which are the source of all peaceful life, and which can be eradicate all lamentation caused by material contamination. My dear Lord, you are the super soul of everyone, and you can understand everything. Now I am free from all contamination of material desire. I do not wish to enjoy this material world, nor do I wish to take advantage of merging into your spiritual influence, nor do I wish to meditate upon your localized aspect of Paramatma. For I know that simply by taking shelter of you,
I shall become completely peaceful and undisturbed.
Hare Krishna. So thank you,
Yes.
Prabhuji. It's such a
Thank you.
wonderful realization, because unless when we can advance in Krishna Bhakti is when we get completely vairagya of this material world, when we get fed up of being entangled in this material world. Many times, because of our material desires, whatever we are thinking about our material desires, we land up taking birth again in this material world in order to satisfy again those desires. But we find that as we keep satisfying these material desires, it's like pouring petrol over a fire. It keeps burning all the time. And because of this material desires, we are born again and again, and we get again entangled in this material world, because our senses are constantly being disturbed and are constantly engaging, trying to satisfy our senses. And the main difference between material life and spiritual life is material life, we are always constantly engaged in satisfying our senses, and in the process getting more and more entangled. But in the bhakti life, it's all about satisfying the senses of the Supreme Lord, Rishikesha. Rishikesha means the master of all the senses. But in bhakti life, when we are satisfying the master that is Krishna, automatically our senses get satisfied. And this is the real satisfaction, that when we are engaging bhakti life and we are pleasing Krishna, then automatically we get pleased. Why? Because we are part and parcel of Krishna. Just like when we eat our food, once we eat our food, it goes into the stomach, but all the remaining parts of the body gets nourished, right? So similarly, when we are engaging in the main, keeping Krishna in the center and engaging in Krishna Bhakti and pleasing Krishna with our kirtans, with our chanting and all these things, automatically we get. And here, Muchukanda, we can see that he's more very advanced in a way that he understands that material desires will get them more and more entangled. And he's saying that I'm free from all the contamination. He's very glad that he's come out of this material desires, which are which are the reason why we again birth again and again. And he doesn't want him to merge into Krishna, because a lot of people, they talk about merging into Krishna. But if you remember Krishna Bhakti is all about engaging Krishna in the mood of servitor. A real devotee of Krishna is not interested in merging into Krishna, or he's not talking about merging in Krishna. But his prayer is that whether it is hell or heaven or anywhere on the earth or in the hellish planets, I just want to be at your lotus feet and I want to keep serving you. That is the only prayer of a devotee. Not to be merged, not to go into the heavenly planets, or not to be engaged in material desires, but just this simple prayer that whether I'm in hell or I'm in heaven, but I want to just be at your lotus feet and I'm always wanting to serve you. So in that way only, I'll be completely peaceful and undisturbed. So here is Mushukanda, who's got a very high level of realization about what is actually gives you peace of mind, because people are looking for peace of mind, but they don't know. In fact, Krishna Bhagavan tells in Bhagavad Gita that one who's able to control all these desires, one is able to not going and serving like a servant to all your material desires, such kind of a person is actually peaceful, not somebody who's going and executing whatever the senses are asking for, but someone who's just controlling himself and not engaging in all the sense pleasures. Just one more paragraph and maybe we can end. Anyone else who would want to?
Yes, yes,
Can I
Prabhuji, I
ask
can.
something? Sham Prabhu,
Yes,
if
Prabhu.
we go up one, I don't understand this statement there where it says,
Yes.
where's it going? This. I do not wish to enjoy this material world, nor do I wish to take advantage of merging into your spiritual effulgence. I mean, nor do I wish to meditate upon your localized aspects of Paratma, for I know that simply by taking shelter of you, I shall become completely peaceful and undisturbed. I mean, obviously, we want to meditate and we want to merge into spiritual efforts. So I don't understand. I mean, you can explain it later to me when I meet you or whatever.
Yeah,
But
that's
I'm
right.
a little confused there a little bit.
Well, yeah, definitely. Maybe I can, we can explain.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I had the same question as well.
Yeah. So actually the thing is like one of the thing I was saying, like just coming on to the point why we do not wish to enjoy in this material, what he means to say is that this material, when our senses are engaged in this material pleasures and all these things, these things, our consciousness is totally contaminated and completely absorbed in this material pleasures. And these things keep us away from our bhakti life. And they kind of don't give us a chance to just think about a higher transcendental joy of being in loving relationship with Krishna. Because you see, the reason why many people do not want to take to bhakti is because they're so much absorbed in enjoying into this material world. But
what does it mean by saying, I wish, nor do I wish to take advantage of merging into your spiritual effluence?
So that's the thing, right? So Krishna says he is the basis of this Brahman, this spiritual effulgence. And a lot of people, they talk about merging into the spiritual effulgence. There are people who are having different desires, some merging into the spiritual effulgence, because the soul, if you take the whole universe, it's just manifestation of Krishna's energy. So here, many people, they talk about just merging into this Brahma, spiritual effulgence of Krishna. But or enjoying into this material pleasure. But what Bhagavad Gita is telling us is that all of us have an independent existence. We all have an independent existence. Natvevaham jatu nasam natvam neme janadipa na chaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayamataha paramve. Krishna says, Arjuna, all these people, each and every one you seeing in this world, they have an individual. Jivatma is like a separate individual existence that we have, and we will continue to have this loving relationship. So the Atma is always engaged in this, a part and parcel of the Paramatma. You are always engaging in serving Krishna in that mode of devotion. So here as a devotee, what he's saying is it's not like he wants to enjoy this spiritual effulgence of Krishna, but he wants to just surrender to Krishna in that mode where we can enjoy higher transcendental joy of serving Krishna. Because he's like a pure devotee who's like, he's seen all these material things in life, and he knows that because this material life is only going to get us more entangled. And we have seen it in all our life, right? All of us before are coming into Krishna Bhakti also. We are all engaging in doing different things. At this time, we would have been doing some other material things which will give us some material happiness. But everything that we do in this material world, it has a karmic reaction. And because of that karma, again, we come into this material world, either to enjoy or to suffer. But a person who's engaging in Krishna Bhakti, he's no more into getting this karmic reaction, because he's putting Krishna everything in the center. And that's the reason why Krishna says how to spiritualize your day-to-day life, by doing everything as an offering for Krishna.
So basically what he's saying is that I just don't want to merge into it, or I don't want to be localized. I want to be taking shelter under you, basically. Full shelter.
Full shelter. That means depending on Krishna's mercy, just like how Draupadi was not thinking about anything but thinking about Krishna, that you are there, and whatever position, because a pure devotee who's surrendered and who's taking shelter, who's not craving for anything, but he takes everything as a mercy of Krishna. Even if something happens also, he thinks that Krishna is so merciful that instead of giving me a bigger pain, he's just, this is a minimum that I'm just going. So everything he's just taking as a shelter of Krishna. We have all the Goswamis in Vrindavan also. They left all the rich life and the powerful life. They were all very well-to-do and they had powerful. They left everything and took the shelter of Krishna. That whatever situation that I'm in, I'm taking the shelter of you. I'm just depending on you for my. And then Krishna promises that if you are like that, then I will also take care of you. You don't need to worry about it.
Okay, got it. Thanks. Thank you.
Sure.
So, by the word localized aspect of Paramatma, do they refer to the Akshavatara form of Krishna?
You have this different spiritual, levels of realization, right? You have a Brahman realization that is all Brahman, and then your localized aspect that is Paramatma, and then you have a Bhagavan realization as well. So this is one of the levels of spiritual realization as well. Yeah, because Krishna says, right, he's Sarvasya Chaham Tridi Sannavisto Matasmitir Jnanam Apoham. I'm seated in everyone's heart as a Paramatma. So I'm talking about the super soul or Paramatma sitting in the hearts of every living entity. So that's a Paramatma that we're talking about.
Thank you, Krishna.
And when we talk about Bhagavan, that is the highest realization. And if you see the whole of Bhagavad Gita, so spiritual realization is either in the initial stages, you think that everything is Brahman. You see a lot of people saying, everything is Brahman and all that. And then as you keep understanding more and more, then you understand there is a Paramatma in everyone's heart. And as you keep getting more and more into Bhakti life, then you get a higher realization that is Bhagavan realization. And what is Bhagavad Gita talking about? Talking about Bhagavan realization. Everywhere you mentioned as Bhagavan Uvacha. It never say even Paramatma, it say Bhagavan Vasha, which means Bhagavan realization means so as the Supreme Lord who has six opulences: unlimited strength, unlimited wealth, unlimited power, unlimited renunciation also. Why renunciation? Because the Supreme Lord was so detached from all these things in the material world that he was ready to even become a charioteer for all this, for his Arjuna. Imagine becoming a charioteer for Arjuna, because in the world, in the war, when they're doing, sometimes they do not even have time to people point the direction also. They will be just making gestures with their feet. And imagine the Supreme Lord taking directions like that, because unlimited renunciation also, the highest realization is Bhagavan realization. That understanding that the Supreme Lord is unlimited strength at the age of 7 years. So when you have knowledge of Krishna Katha, we have this Bhagavan realization, because by reading Krishna Katha, we know that Krishna is unlimited strength, because at the age of 7 years, he lifted the, Govardhan hill. We know the unlimited beauty, because we seen from the Krishna Katha how the gopis and everybody in Vrindavan were enamored by this realization. By going through the Krishna Katha, we realize that unlimited strength, unlimited power, everything that Krishna had, right? Even when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was taking a tour in South India, he seen one old Brahmin. He was actually holding Bhagavad Gita and crying. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Why are you crying?" He said, "My guru asked me to read Bhagavad Gita, but I am very illiterate. I don't know how to read Bhagavad Gita." Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, "Then why are you just crying?" Because all the Vaishnavas around that old man, they were all laughing and mocking at him. This man can't even read Bhagavad Gita and he's crying. Look at him, how he's crying. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked this man, like, "Why are you crying if you can't know how to read Bhagavad Gita?" He said, "I'm crying because I'm seeing the cover page of Bhagavad Gita where Krishna is riding the chariot of his devotee. And I'm crying because the Supreme Lord, Krishna, is so kind that he's ready to become even a charioteer for his devotee. How kind is Krishna?" So seeing that kindness, I'm crying. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu hugs him and he says, "You have actually understood the essence of Bhagavad Gita. You have actually understood the essence of Bhagavad Gita, that Krishna is so kind that he is ready to even become a devotee, become a charioteer for his devotee." And that is the highest kind of realization. So all of us, everybody is in the spiritual journey. Slowly, step by step, we are going up the yoga ladder, trying to understand step by step about Krishna. But the highest realization is not even Bhagavan realization. But we understand that Krishna is unlimited. His mercy is unlimited, and everything is about him is unlimited. So I hope, Prabhuji, a little bit of context I'm just giving in on that.
Yes,
So,
yes.
So in the last one, I just wanted to maybe just read it out myself. On hearing this statement by King Muchukunda, where he's saying that Muchukunda has so much of realization that he doesn't want to get entangled anymore in this material life, but he's quite happy that he's relieved of all these material things, his kingdom and his family and all the queens and everything, and now he's able to be at this lotus feet of Krishna. So Lord Krishna is now reciprocating. "My dear king, I'm very much pleased with your statement. You have been the king of all the lands on this planet, but I'm surprised to find that your mind is now freed from all material contamination. You are now fit to execute devotional service. I am most pleased to see that although I have offered you the opportunity to ask for me any kind of benediction, you did not take advantage of asking for material benefits. I can understand that your mind is now fixed on me and it is not disturbed by any material quality." So you see how a pure devotee doesn't want any material things. Even Krishna saying, like how Krishna gave Sudama a mighty palace, right? Sudama gave cheap price. In response, Krishna gave a mighty palace. But here you see Muchukunda is not asking for anything. He's very happy that he's coming out of this. And Krishna is happy to see a pure devotee like that who's no more interested in all this thing. His mind is free, because mind is totally contaminated. Mind is totally absorbed in this material things. So Krishna is very pleased that this person is no more interested in all that. And this is one of the very important quality to engage in devotional service. And so Krishna is very happy that in spite of him giving, just like Dhruva Maharaj, when Krishna asked him also, "What do you want? You want kingdom? You want everything because you were praying for that, right?" So Dhruva Maharaj said, "Yes, initially I was praying for the kingdom. But Krishna, after seeing you, I don't want anything. I just want you." So this is what will happen. And why Krishna Katha is so important, because through the Krishna Katha, we will understand that through the pure devotees' realizations, we can understand that once we experience Krishna Bhakti, everything in this material world will fade away. We are no more interested in that. We'll become because Krishna is called Atmarama. Atmarama is someone who's very self-satisfied. So we are part of this Atmarama. So when we are engaged in devotional service, we lose the flavor for all these material things, which are only entangle us more and more. Instead of that, we are engaging in a more transcendental joy. That joy, which Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, is much, much higher and gets us out of all material entanglement, and it will allow you to have much more pure joy than all these things. So here he says, like Krishna says, I can understand that now your mind is fixed on me. So how we can link Bhagavad Gita with Krishna Katha is, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mayeva mana adatsva mayi buddhim niveshaya nivasasyasi mayeva ata udvam nasamsayaha. So Krishna tells Arjuna, just fix your mind on me. Just the very first option he gives is just fix your mind upon me and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always without a doubt. This is Krishna's first instruction in Bhakti life. Engage your mind always, thinking about me. But how do you engage your mind? Always on Krishna, by always chanting his holy name. So Krishna is happy here that whatever Krishna told in Bhagavad Gita, this is exactly what he's happy that Muchikonda is doing. I can understand your mind is now fixed in me and it's not that. So he's very happy. He says, I'm most pleased to see that, that you are no more interested in anything and your mind is fixed on me. So these are the qualities of a pure devotee. And we can see that when we are engaged in pure devotion, this is how Krishna is responding, that he's very pleased to see us in that situation. Because why? He's pleased because he's pleased that you're no more interested in the material desires, you're more interested in spiritual desire of attaining Krishna Bhakti. He's very happy about that. And not only he's happy about that, towards the end of life, Krishna says, if you're not able to think about me, I will think about you and take you back to my Krishna Loka. So you see, Krishna is always reciprocating. If you by some means, like Ajmal, when he forgot about Krishna, but he chanted Narayana's name, and towards the end, even when the Yamadutas came, they couldn't take him because Narayana's Dutas came and they took him back to Vaikuntha. So this is what happens. That when we fix our mind on Krishna, ultimately the end result is that Krishna himself will reciprocate, and he says he will come and take us back into Krishna. So I want to end out here. I'm really sorry I've taken a bit more time. But I should blame it on Krishna Katha, because Krishna Katha and Association of Devotees is so contagious. You don't feel like leaving it. So
let's thank it on the Krishna book, not blame it on.
Thank you, Sham. Very nice, very nice. No, it's so invigorating that you don't want to leave it,
Right.
And you do it so well, Asham. You do it so well. It's like, I don't know how you do it, but you do it so well. So yeah, you engage all of us, and we want to know more and more. We could do this every day, that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. We all inspire each other, Prabhuji. We all share our stories and all these things, because enough of hearing people who are enough of speculation, enough of people who just come up with their old thinking because they don't know the Krishna's relationship with Radharani, that Eki Atma. Just one simple statement, Radha Krishna Eki Atma. If you understand, that's enough. And if you understand that gopis are none other than expansions of Radharani for the pleasure of Krishna. If you understand that the 16,000 wives that we talk about, they're all rishis from the previous life. So when you understand the spiritual truths, then we have more and more love towards Krishna. But many people are stopping over there because they don't want to go to Krishna because something they heard somewhere. But we, as devotees, not only should relish this Krishna Katha, but should also pass it on to other people. We never know. Because a lot of people, they just get stopped because they have some cobwebs in their mind, because they think that, oh, I heard about this about Krishna, so I don't want to go to Krishna. But if they hear from all our devotee association, they get a taste of it, then they will understand, oh my God, all my questions are answered. And once their questions are answered, that's it. They fall in love with Krishna. And then there's no going back. There's no going back.
What I find is a lot of people are materialistic, but they feel what they're doing in the house, the temple, the puja, whatever they're doing is enough. You see, that is what I find. And I must say I was like that as well until I came along. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's so like like if you want to taste something, they'll give you a taster when you go to supermarkets and all that. They'll give you a taster because you never tasted it. They'll say, "Why don't you just taste it? It's a free." And once they taste it, you get an idea like what's it like. Do you like it or you don't like it? Kind of. So bhakti life is also like once they get a taste. Visaya vinivartante neraharasya dehina. Once you get a taste by associating with the devotees, sometimes when you'll be standing in the line with them for Mahaprasadam. And I was just sharing, I was telling Nagaraj Prabhu, we were just talking about it. I said, like, if you're ritual, then you will offer a banana to Krishna. But if you are spiritual, when you develop love for Krishna, the same banana you will peel it and offer to Krishna because you know Krishna is going to eat it. Why? Because Krishna says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhakta prayachati. Tadaham bhakti upahritam asnami praya. So Krishna told me in Bhagavad Gita that if you offer me with love, he's going to eat it. Then if I know Krishna is going to eat it, then I'm going to peel it and offer to Krishna. So you see, sometimes if you're in a ritualistic platform, you may just offer it. Okay, just like a checkbox. Yeah, I gone and just offered it to God. I don't know why I'm offering, but I just offered it. But if you're engaged in devotional service, we get the realization from Krishna, then we will peel that and offer it to Krishna.
Okay.
Because
That's interesting you say that. That's very interesting. What about an apple? Do you have to cut it and give it?
Yeah, I mean, you can cut it. I'm saying, like, I'm just giving you an example. Like, when
No, that's very good because I just put the banana just there,
Yeah.
unpeeled. But
Yeah.
now you say that, I will cut it up and I put it
Yeah.
in something, even if it's a little bit of the banana, not because I don't have space, even if it's a little bit of the banana.
Doesn't matter. See, because what Krishna wants is, along with the banana, what he's looking for is your love, right? With your love. There's a beautiful story when Krishna was, because this story I love, because when Krishna was invited for Rajabhog by Duryodhana, saying like, golden plates and like massive Rajabhog, and Krishna, come over, I will invite you. I'm inviting you to a Rajbhog. But because he was so egoistic and there was no love for Krishna, Krishna rejected that offer. He said, no, Duryodhana, I'm not going to come. But the same Krishna, he goes to Vidura's house, and Vidura's wife, Vidura was not there at that time, and his wife was there. And because why? Vidura and his wife, they were great devotees of Krishna, and they wanted Krishna in their house. So when Krishna goes to their house, and Vidura was not there, and Vidura's wife, so she was so overwhelmed seeing Krishna that instead she peels the banana, and by mistakenly she forgets the absorbed in love of Krishna. She takes the banana and peels and gives the skin of the banana to Krishna, and Krishna starts eating it. And then Vidura comes. Suddenly sees his wife offering banana, the skin of banana. He says, "What are you doing? You're offering peel of banana." But Krishna was very smiling and happily taking it, because the reason here is, along with the banana, he's looking for love. The Krishna, this is all I can offer you. I can just give you some nice banana. Or Krishna, today I have strawberries and grapes. Today I just put strawberries and grapes for Krishna. So, like, when you go to the supermarket also, like how you're shopping for yourself, you think about Krishna also. Oh my God, today let me offer something different for Krishna, because last 2 days I've been giving only banana also. Let me change it to orange, or let me do something else. Like, let me buy a watermelon or something. So just thinking about having those kind of a personal affection for Krishna, that is what buys Krishna. That's what he's loving. He's just like, oh my God, you're thinking about me when you're going to a supermarket, not thinking about yourself, but I'm thinking about Krishna also. Last night when I went and shopped, I was thinking, okay, last week I bought, and this time I'm going to offer grapes or something like that. So those small endeavors, neha bikramanasasti pratyavayona vidyate, swalpam abhyasya dharmasya, little bit of love that Krishna says, along with that banana, with a little bit of love. That's it. Krishna says, even if you put a peanut, I'm going to eat, because I'm looking for that love. That's what it is. So when we read Krishna Katha with the devotees and share this knowledge, when I was just talking about that in the line, and one lady, she looked back and said, oh, that's so beautiful. Such a beautiful, I'm going to take that message, that Krishna, you had to peel and offer, because Krishna, we know Krishna is going to eat, because he's telling in Bhagavad Gita that, yes, I am going to eat. But only thing is, when you offer to Krishna a banana, what Krishna does is, he honors that banana and he keeps it as a prasadam for you. And he's keeping it as, that's why when you offer to Krishna and when you pray, Krishna honors that and leaves it as a prasadam for you. And that becomes mercy of Krishna. Why? Because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yajna sistasena santo muchyante sarva kilvishai bunjate tve agam papa ye pachante atmakarana. He says the devotees, my devotees, Krishna is saying, my devotees are released from all kind of papa. My Krishna bhaktas are released from all kind of sins because they offer food first for Krishna for sacrifice. They offer first to Krishna. But people are not offering to Krishna and they eat for own personal sense enjoyment. They're only eating sin. But if you offer to Krishna the same food, Krishna is blessing that food. And that will become the mercy of Krishna. So as much as possible, we just pray to Krishna so that food becomes, blessed by Krishna, and that will purify our consciousness. So all these things are very much interlinked. And I like to share stories. So I'm just sharing things, because sometimes when among the devotees, when you're talking about Krishna, we never know, some non-devotees are hearing, and that could be a game changer for their life. For all they're listening and they're taking it to the heart, and next day you never know, they're coming to the temple. So that's why I say, like, in the temple, as much as possible, you give them such a beautiful experiences about Krishna that they feel like, yes, I want to come to the temple again, So that kind of thing. Today, I want to say thanks to Sneha Patel, Mataji. She's such a wonderful devotee, always coming on Saturdays, and she's been part of the Gita talk, which I normally give on Saturdays, and I see her regularly be there, and and she's so nicely joined our group as well. Sneha ji, Hare Krishna. I think
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you for joining us. Such a wonderful.
Thank you so much for adding me in the group. So I will be the part of this all talk about Krishna.
Yeah, why not? Because this is a platform where Krishna wants all of us to come and share our experiences. And we are all on different levels of our spiritual journey towards Krishna. There's no one like small or big or anything like that. Here you can see Vrindavan Prabhu is there, Vrindavan devotee is there, Amoga Prabhu is there, such wonderful senior devotees who can give us knowledge. And then you have people like me also, fallen souls like me also.
No.
To rub all the
Oh,
devotees.
you are very experienced, Krishna Katha.
You're very experienced.
I'm a fallen
People
soul.
like me, that's not experienced, Sham, and newcomer.
I
I've learned a lot.
I say, like, I don't like to have it like a checkbox, just do this, do that. But Krishna Prema is all about just showering our lives, not to think about our faults. Don't think about our mistakes. A lot of people say, Prabhu, I'm not. The other day also when Janmashtami, some Mataji said, Prabhu, I'm trying to chant, but I'm doing a lot of mistakes in chanting. I said, Mataji, don't feel bad that I'm doing mistakes. One day your mind is somewhere. It doesn't matter. Just stick to the process, just take to chanting. Krishna is just not looking at all. Apiche duracharo bhajate ma maniyabak sadhu evacha mantavya samyak vyavasitoha. Krishna says, even if you are the most sinner of all sinners also, I don't care. But if you are doing one round of chanting, in my eyes, Krishna says, you are as good as a saint. You see? He's saying you could be a sinner of sinners. You're the most sinful person also, I don't care. He says, but what I'm looking is, did you chant my name once, at least once? Did you offer me one banana at least? That's all Krishna wants. He's not looking at our mistake. But people, unfortunately, they keep fearing God. Oh my God, God is going to punish me if I don't offer banana like this. God is going to punish me if I don't chant nicely his name. No, because he knows our journey. He knows who we were in our PF lives. He knows who we were in the millions of lives behind. He knows who we were. That's what he says. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tab Arjuna. Arjuna asked Krishna, you said that you are more even senior to sun god, Vivaswan. Vivaswan, sun god is millions of years. How am I able to believe that? Krishna says, Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tab. He says, Arjuna, many, many lives you and me have passed. You don't remember all of them, but I remember each and every one of our lives. So Krishna remembers all our lives. So he knows where we are. So he's not judging us by whether we have quality of chanting, because he knows, yes, somebody is in a starting stage, somebody is in an advanced stage, somebody is in an intermediate stage. So he's reciprocating all. Ye yatamam prapajyante tam statayava bhajanme. According to your level of surrender, at whatever stage you are, I am reciprocating. He never looked down. That's why we have Lord Rama even appreciating a squirrel, right? So he was trying to bring pebbles to build a bridge. So that's the mercy of Krishna, why we'll need to know Krishna Katha. So Snehaji, I'm very, very happy that you joined us. Whenever you can, I know it's a weekend. Everybody is, I can't tell you, I don't take it lightly. Each one of you taking your time to listen to Krishna Katha, it's not this thing. It is Krishna who wants sitting in each one of your heart saying that let's come and join this Krishna Katha. Same way, this is our realization should have. When we go to a temple, also never think that you are going. It's Krishna who's calling you to the temple. Krishna, you calling to the Sangha. And in this way, we just enrich each other and just share story. I'm very happy to hear some nice stories also coming from all of you. And that's why we wanted to be an interactive session where you can be, each of us can read paragraphs and, so we be involved in that. I don't want it to be like a silent listener, but because only when we are engaged, we can have that sense of belonging towards Krishna Katha. So yeah, definitely. Thanks for joining us, and Ramlal Prabhu, all of us. Thank you so much for giving your association, Vrindavan Das Prabhuji, Ashwin Prabhu, Prabhu,
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Nare Prabhu.
So I have some question, but then 9:30. I couldn't anything. Next time, I question about next Thursday. But
Okay.
today 9:30, and tomorrow working and
I know.
sleeping.
I have to
And
apologize. This Krishna Katha is that. But yeah, Prabhu, you had something you wanted to quickly ask?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
The book that we used today for the reading,
Mm-hmm.
Is it any different from the Srimad Bhagavad Puranam?
No, it's actually taken from the 10th canto of Bhagavatam. It is taken from the 10th canto of Bhagavatam.
The pastimes that we discuss are found in there also, but just as a book, I thought I would take your help to understand if this is authored by somebody else.
No, I mean, this is actually from the 10th canto of Bhagavatam, actually, all the divine pastimes you're covering. Yeah, okay. So you can definitely be sure of that. This is actually Prabhupada giving in his KrishnaBook. So, yeah, by all means, also, like,
So the Sri KrishnaBook, sorry to interrupt again, the Sri KrishnaBook is authored by Prabhupada himself.
The KrishnaBook is been authored by Prabhupada himself.
And also, Prabhuji, so Srimad Bhagavatam, it contains 12 cantos. First 9 cantos, it contains different pastimes of the Lord, different incarnations and appearances. And the 10th canto, it is completely about Krishna's appearance, and that is what that Srimad Bhagavatam is translated into as a Krishna book. So because to deliver Bhagavatam, it takes longer time. So Prabhupada, in order to give to the people, all the devotees, the nectarian pastimes of Krishna very quickly, so he composed this Krishna book, and then it came before Srimad Bhagavatam.
Okay, that's interesting.
Thank you.
And
is that the book
interestingly,
behind you, Sham? Is that the book behind you, Krishna?
No, actually, there is
There, behind by the lamp,
Srimad Bhagavatam, set of Srimad Bhagavatam books.
This is the Krishna book.
And
interestingly, this book was sponsored by the Beatles. They were the ones who gave money to publish it for the first time. I believe in those days, George Harrison gave $19,000 to publish it. Right, Amaga Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
Yeah. So we are very fortunate. Actually, we are directly going into 10th canto of Bhagavatam. All of us, and experience in the nectar, we're not. Yeah, and also Amaga Prabhu is a wonderful, expert in Bhagavatam. So nicely, Prabhuji gives about, about Bhagavatam. So we are always enjoying that nectar as well. So hopefully, Magma Prabhu, please add more nectar in case if there's anything that you want to share with us. Not today, but I mean, in our sessions, so that we can make it much more enriching for all of us. Yeah.
So sorry, the Krishna book, is that a summary of the Bhagavatam 10th canto?
Yes. It's kind of, if you read this, you would cover many of the chapters from there.
Okay, interesting. Thank you.
Okay, I want to, Snehaji, by all means, if you have some nice friends, devotee friends, feel free to just add them. You are like, you have the Bhagavad Gita group now, where we are posting a lot of things for all of us, nice darshan pictures and videos and many things which we are posting over there. So similarly, if you have friends who want to join part of the group, by all means, everybody is welcome, to taste the nectar. You should get everyone. So on this note, I would like to just thank everyone for joining us, and sorry we are just a bit late today. We normally close a bit earlier, but thank you for your precious time, and we'll again catch up next Thursday for some more nectar from this chapter. Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
And that's it. Can we all just unmute and do loud Hari Bol to Shyam Prabhuji?
Hari
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Sam Prabhuji.